Welcome back to Fut-Afrique, the dazzling fields of football excellence. Now, this is the part of the show we honor our queens of African football and also give you the answer to the earlier trivia question. Do you remember what it was? Let me refresh your memory in case you forgot. What is the current record number of AFCON hosting venues or stadiums? Here to give us the answer is the ever so intelligent, the ever so bright, Anti-D-Ski, Jessica Chidima Nkomo.
You know, I'm going to forget these names. There's so many of them, and I feel like every week you just keep adding another one.
I just keep adding a new name to it.
But speaking of intelligence, somebody at home is very intelligent if they got this right, but the answer is, the record is 6 stadiums used by Mali for their hosting of the 2002 finals when there were 16 teams and 32 matches.
Oh, wow.
I wonder who got it right.
Yes, Morocco is about to break that record, by the way. Now, Jessica, let's get into it. We have the WAFCON qualifiers coming up, and we also have the WAFCON coming up in July.
Yeah.
What is going on here? Can you just break everything down to the viewers at home?
What a time to be alive. I mean, this is exciting times. And just to clarify, I think in the past couple of weeks, we did, specify in terms of which WAFCON is the qualifiers. So we have a WAFCON that's happening now in July. And then currently, we're also going to start seeing the first round for the WAFCON qualifiers, for the WAFCON that qualifies for the FIFA World Cup, so which is happening next year. And I did speak about, how I felt like it is such a very tough and a congested schedule for the women's football in essence, because if you have so many big tournaments happening in 1 year, and I mean, domestic football still continues, it doesn't stop, and other tournaments in between are still going to happen. It's going to be a bit of a challenge and a bit of a struggle when it comes to performances from all these different nations. And we know some players are going to be tired from coming from overseas and coming back here. The traveling is going to be very intense. But I'm excited regardless, because WAFCON is actually a time where we get to see all these beautiful nations coming through to showcase their talent. And I'm rooting for all the teams that are going to be participating. But I think this week we are mainly going to be focusing on the qualifiers that are currently happening.
Yes, and the WAFCON 2026 doubles up on the World Cup, right?
100%. So 4 teams from that will be then the ones that are going to represent us at the FIFA World Cup. We did see some nice results from the past, teams that are from African region that did represent us well. But I'm hoping this time around we make it above out of the group stages and maybe semi-finals. We never know, Ade. We might be, one of the first nations in Africa, Nigeria or Zambia, to be making it to the semi-finals.
Listen, when I hear about the women's game, the child in me is dancing like Serena Williams in that Super Bowl. Yeah. Really, I'm excited about what is going on. Now, let's talk about the Harambee Starlets who face Tunisia.
You know what? Before we speak about the Harambee Starlets, which is Kenya, I just want to give a big shout out, in terms of the East African countries that have been doing so phenomenally well. And I think we have been speaking about Nigeria and South Africa and Zambia, the likes of Morocco, who have been doing so well. But I think these East African countries, your Rwandas, your Kenyas, your Tanzania, not just on, national stage, but also on, club football. We saw with JKT teams, and we saw now Sekafa is doing tournaments within the East region. I think this is just to build up the development of women's football in those regions. And I think it's about time that we see the inclusions of the teams that we really haven't been speaking about. And, they're putting their hand up to say, we also want to be included. We also want to go and represent our teams and probably become WAFCON, champions. But I'm super excited for this match. I'm rooting obviously for Kenya. Tunisia is a very strong and a tough contender, especially in this tournament because they're very familiar with it. But I think Kenya will do well.
Okay, so which particular fixture from the first round are you looking forward to?
I want to see what Cheryl Buertes is going to do. We know that's the ex-Banyana player who's now currently the coach in Uganda. I really want to see what she's going to do, that match between Uganda and Ethiopia, because I'm also low-key rooting for Ethiopia. I think those 2 matches for me are the first ones that I'm looking out for the first round.
Auntie Diski, let's do this again next week. And my final thoughts for today's show is definitely dedicated to the men and the women's game. I love African football. But most importantly, I'm thinking of the countless boys and girls who have enrolled in football academies, dreaming of CAF awards and Ballon d'Ors. Remember, success is forged in the fires of failure, and challenges are the building blocks of greatness. So be passionate about education and play every minute of every game with passion and determination. Till next time, Ninitanda Nonke Kakulu.